Hey everyone, it's Celeste and welcome to my booktube channel. So this is another installment of my series where I talk about the Book Bitch Literary Society bingo card for the summer. So this is our third year doing it. I'll have the link down below so that if you want to have your own card, you can make your own card and go along with us. We started this May the 7th and we're continuing our reading until we get to our September meeting. So it's like old big summer. And this is based off my particular card. So when you do it, you'll get your own card and you might have some different prompts because there were more prompts than we had spaces for, but that's okay. More is better, right? So anyway, last video I talked about the first row across the top, and so this video I'm going to talk about row number 2. Row number 2 for me, and I'm just going to read through them, and then I'm going to talk about my TBR, the things I think I'm going to read. And just as a reminder, I'm trying to read things that I already own so that I don't have to spend any more money. Like, oh goodness, I need to get through my TBR. I need to read some of the books that are in this house so that I can either cherish them and keep them forever or unhaul them. Like, that's just, I need room. I need room. I need fewer books to dust. So anyway, my row includes the prompts suggested by a non-book bitch. So suggested by someone who's not a part of the group. There's 6 of us, so that's fairly easy. Speculative fiction featuring, the next box, featuring an animal. The next box with red on the cover. Last year we had a different color prompt on that one. This year it's red. And then finally I have the box for coming of age. Okay, so let me get into what I've picked off. So the first box on that row was suggested by a non-book bitch. I'm kind of waiting on a few suggestions from people that I've talked to that might give me some more suggestions. I could just go through and watch like favorites videos from different booktubers that I trust. I might do that just to see if I have anything on my TBR shelf that they're recommending. The only book that I pulled that I knew was kind of a suggestion was Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. I bought this, I believe it was Reagan at Peruse Project who read this and just really, it warmed her heart. She really enjoyed it. There's some other booktubers that I've watched that have also liked this book. I've had it on my shelf for a little while. I'm pretty sure I bought it back when I bought it because I saw a review where somebody really was, you know, connecting to this book. So I've got this one. I'm going to wait on a few more. There's a few others that were gifted to me by people, and if they gifted it to me, I'm guessing that's like a recommendation, and so I might use books that were gifted to me by people. I have to go through my shelves and kind of organize and kind of look at what I've got going on. So that's the only one for now. We might be surprised on that whenever I do a big recap. The next box I have is speculative fiction, and I only have one book on my TBR for that one. Well, I actually have a lot of speculative fiction on my shelves, but I pulled one particularly because I really want to make it a focus, and it is When Women Were Dragons by Kelly Barnhill. I stalked this book and I went to the counter and talked to the people working at Barnes & Noble. If you know anything about me and my elder millennial ways, I don't like to talk to people. Like, don't call me on the phone. I will just sit in silent suffering and not talk to people. So the fact that I went to the desk and asked them for this book, and then they had to order it and call me later, and I had to go up in later and get it, shows you how much I was really into it. But basically on the premise on this book is that it's like an alternate history where women in, I think, the 1950s just randomly started turning into dragons. And it has a lot of feminist discussion that goes along with that about a woman's place and how to deal with women in that sense. And so not the only speculative fiction that I have on my shelves, but definitely one that I want to keep high up in my ideas of what I would like to read this summer as far as that prompt goes. The next square that I have is featuring an animal. And so when we talked about this when we were brainstorming what we wanted to put in the square, featuring an animal, it was like, hey, an animal on the cover. Well, okay, but like if it's about an animal and the animal's not on the cover, okay, that's cool. Can we do that too? So we decided to say featuring an animal so that it's a little, it could be on the cover, it could be in the book and not necessarily on the cover. Get what I'm saying? So For this one, I only picked one, but I also was thinking of another one, which I don't have handy right now, so I might just mention it. But the book that I physically brought in here with me to record with is Feral Creatures. Feral Creatures is the second book to, what was it? Cruel Kingdom? I don't know. But it is, it is by Hollow Kingdom, not Cruel Kingdom. Hollow Kingdom. It is by Kira Jane Buxton, and it's a book that you wouldn't expect me to read because it has to do with a zombie apocalypse. That's right. And then those of you who know me well know I cannot, Celeste does not abide zombies. It's one of those fears that I can't explain. I can't watch zombie movies, I can't read about zombies, I can't play video games that involve zombies. Like, the thought of them will give me nightmares, make my blood pressure rise and my heart race, and I really just, it legit, like, I just can't help my reaction to it. And so the fact that I read Hollow Kingdom, even though it had a zombie apocalypse in it, was really interesting because I had to get through the zombie stuff in order to connect with these characters, and the characters are all animals because the people are all zombies. So the people are not like people anymore. They're like zombies. And so in this, the main character is this crow here. He's really, really smart. Crows are smart in real life too. And his name is Shit Turd. And Shit Turd is bewildered by what's going on with the humans, and then he's able to, because he's intelligent and resourceful, to get out into the world, and he teams up with other animals, and it has some really fun laughs and it has some really low parts. I would say content warning if you go to read the first one on like animals not doing so well, because I think you guys can like kind of figure out how some animals will not do too well if all the people turned into zombies. Just saying. But anyway, this is the second book, the follow-up book to that, and I really want to get to it because I love Shit Turd. He's a great character. Like, he's one of my favorite animal characters because he's like funny, he's kind of you know, dark, like dark humor, that kind of thing. Okay, so anyway, my next square is with red on the cover. If you watched my previous video, you have probably noticed that I have several other books that have red on the covers that I've already mentioned. And I will probably mention more books that have red on the cover because it seems to be kind of a, I don't know, regular sort of thing to have that color. It's a bold color, it catches your eye. So I don't know exactly what I'll end up reading, but I did pull a few books that have red on the cover that I would like to maybe have on my radar as opposed to other ones on my TBR shelf. The first one is Terra Incognita by Connie Willis. This is 3 novellas that are bound up in this paperback copy. It is some sci-fi, and the author is a Hugo and a Nebula Award winner, so that's promising. This book was a gift from my youngest child at Christmas. And so books that were given to me by people that love me and know me well, like, I want to prioritize those, and it very clearly has red on the cover. And so that one is one that has red on the cover that I would like to think about reading. The next one that I wanted to mention is, and I actually pulled this one because of the month of May and AAPI, but this is Clara in the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. This has to do with like artificial intelligence, and I think it comes from the point of view of a being of artificial intelligence. And so I'm really excited, and it very clearly has red on the cover. But yeah, I already had this pulled down and I saw it walk by and was like, red on the cover, join the stack. So I'm hoping to get to this one soon. And then the next one that I have that has red on the cover was a Christmas gift. So I guess like it could count maybe as a recommendation by a non-book bitch, but this is Read Dangerously, The Subversive Power of Literature in Troubled Times by Azar Nafisi. This is nonfiction. And this is by the same author who wrote Reading Lolita in Tehran, which is one that a lot of people have read. I haven't read that one. I should probably go back and read it. But this author returns as with a guide to the power of literature in turbulent times, arming readers with a resistant reading list ranging from James Baldwin to Zora Neale Hurston to Margaret Atwood. And so I'm really excited. It's not super big, but I'm really excited to get to this because it was a Christmas present also. And clearly it had red on the cover, right? You saw that. Okay. The last square that I have on this row is coming of age. And so, like many people, like red on the cover, I could just walk by my shelves and look for the color red. I'm not colorblind. I could see the color red. And so I could easily pick out some of the books that I could maybe use. For coming of age, it doesn't necessarily say that on the cover, so you gotta maybe look it up. So I did a Google search, and I have already read a lot of coming of age books, both classics and YA and just literary fiction or whatever. So yeah, like I had a lot of options. There's still plenty of options that I didn't pull off my shelves that I saw on some of those lists. And so these are just some that I think I'm going to put in the stack, but who knows when it comes down to it and I tell you which book I actually read to cover that space, who knows what book it will be, because there's so many to choose from, because it's a really popular topic in literature, like YA literature, literary fiction, all over the place. Okay, so the first one that I want to point out to you guys, which could also fit for graphic novel because it is in graphic novel format, but it is Speak by Laurie House Anderson. And this graphic novel edition is illustrated by Emily Carroll. Emily Carroll is a graphic artist that I've read from before, and I really enjoy their writing, their artwork style. I also really enjoy the novel Speak. I've read it before, I've actually taught it before, and it's very powerful. It's coming of age. It's a girl going into high school. She has had a traumatic event happen in her life, and she's dealing with the fallout of that, and she's also learning how to deal with her emotions and her voice and so on. And so I have that in my coming of age stack, but I could decide to make it my graphic novel. Who knows? The next one in the coming of age stack that I have is American Street by E.B. Zoboy. I bought this, I think I bought this not used, like bargain book, like maybe Book Outlet or someplace like that. The cover is very striking. It's very beautiful. It also has red on the cover, so there's that. And it is about a girl who I think immigrates from Haiti, and she is trying to learn how to navigate Detroit, I think. And so, of course, coming of age, also with immigration issues. And so I am interested in this, and I've heard really good things, and it showed up on the list of coming of age books. So there's that. And then finally, in my coming of age stack is A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Tahira Mafi. This book, I actually bought it. I think this is the first edition that I bought it when it came out in 2018. So yeah, your girl is behind on her TBR, let me tell you. But this is a book, I think Tahira Mafi wrote this as one of the books shortly after she was supposedly finishing up the Shatter Me series. This is about a young woman who is living in the more recent post 9/11 world as a Muslim young girl and having to deal with all of those things. And that really interests me because, as we talked about in the previous video, if you didn't watch part 1, go look at part 1. I'm old. So I was an adult when 9/11 happened, and so for me to read about it, it connects me in a way that maybe not other people who weren't cognizant or born during that time. So I feel like it's going to touch me in ways, and this might actually cover another square depending on what happens in the book. They have another square that has to do with laughing and crying. So we'll see about that. But anyway, that is the row. Those are the books that I have for the second row on my bingo card. I don't know if I will for sure read those, but what I did is I cleared a space on the top of a cabinet, and I'm lining them up in the order of first row, second row, third row. So I will be able to when I'm ready to read for something, I'll go and look and go, this one, and I'll know that they'll fit in with my bingo card, because last summer I just read willy-nilly, and then I went to my bingo card later and was like, what could this one count as? And then I just made it work. And some of the books that I read didn't count for anything on the bingo card because they just didn't fit in with anything. So this is a little bit of a different tactic. Maybe it'll help me read more this summer. I don't really know. But anyway, thank you for watching part 2 of my BB Summer Bingo Challenge TBR. And if you like this video, hopefully you keep watching the series. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!